Divorce. Moving on. Being lost for words. You certainly fucking ain't. Death. Everybody's full of shit. That's true. Being kicked when you're down. Remaining positive. It's a wonderful life. Bring Me the Horizon are back with their latest album. Have they returned to their deathcore roots? Fuck no. It's Amo. Amo. Hi, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Now, I find myself in the unfortunate, or possibly fortunate position here, of not actually being that familiar with Bring Me the Horizon. I've always known of the band, of course, but they were one of those bands I kind of overlooked. I never really got into them. I have, however, gone back through the discography in preparation for this review. I am well aware that their 2006 debut, Count Your Blessings, was pretty much in the deathcore vein. Very, very heavy album. And some good stuff on there as well. They have transitioned, shall we say, throughout each album into more contemporary alternative rock, I guess, would be what this album is classed as. I think that's what some people say. The reason I bore you with these details is because my judgment on this album will be different to long-term fans. So I get the privilege of judging this album purely based on the songs presented before me, and I don't have any kind of I don't have any baggage with the band of what I expect from them. So my surmising of this album will be based squarely on this album. Good God, that went on! Bring Me the Horizon are an Englandhamshire band from Sheffield, I believe. Formed in 2004, this particular album is their first since 2015's Count Your Blessings. No, it's not. That's the spirit. Curse my lack of knowledge. I'm on one today. Amo means I love in Portuguese, but I think it also has a couple of alternate meanings as well. I think it means master as well in European. Something. Really should have researched this more. This album is produced by frontman Oliver Sykes. It is Oliver Sykes, or is it just Ollie Sykes? Oliver Sykes I've got written here. I shall refer to him thusly as Ollie. And keyboardist Jordan Fish. And this was written and recorded primarily in Los Angeles. I don't normally say this sort of stuff on the fucking thing, so I don't know why I'm going in this much depth. As for the rest of the band, we have Lee Malia on guitar, Matt Keane on bass, and Matt Nichols on drums. I'll just quickly read something out that Ollie said in an interview, because it saves me waffling on. Amo is a love album. You said that a bit. Fucking. Amo is a love album that explores every aspect of that most powerful emotion. Love, I guess he means. It deals with the good, the bad and the ugly, and as a result we've created an album that's more experimental, more varied, weird and wonderful than anything we've done before. It's windy. He later commented that Amo is a concept album about love. Something I know nothing of. Life just kicks you in the teeth. Everything boils down to love in the end, supposedly. Sykes also said that some of the lyrical content concerns his divorce. I believe he went through a bit of a messy divorce. I'm not sure when it was. There was all sorts of talk of being cheated on, and I didn't research into that too much. I don't want to get bogged down into that, so I probably shouldn't just mention it in the first place. Why did nobody tell me my hair was messy? So we got 13 songs to get through, so let's just get on with it. First track, I Apologise If You Feel Something. Straight from the off we get this ambient electronic EDM style instrumentation. This is pretty much an interlude piece, an introductory interlude if you will. On first listen I kind of didn't really understand why it was there, kind of felt a bit unneeded, but when you look into the lyrics it pretty much sets up the album. So I apologise if you feel something, but love is all we have. I don't have it. Feel something, I know. If I steal something, please remember it was mine. Selfish. And this segues into the first song proper, Mantra, and I'll say straight away I absolutely adore this song. I think this is absolutely a fantastic tune to get going. Rolling drums and bass lines get this one going off to a real nice pace, and we get some real nice detuned guitars as well with some nice riffage. Do you want to start a cult with me? I'm not vibrating like I ought to be. I need a purpose. I can't keep surfing through this existential misery. I had a few problems saying that one. Very, very enjoyable song, this one, with a huge chorus. Before the truth will set you free, it'll piss you off. Before you find the place to be, you're gonna lose the plot. Too late to tell you now. One ear and right out the other one, because all you ever do is chant the same old mantra. I really got into this song. I've played this one a lot. It's just got a lot of replayability appeal. Next up we have Nihilist Blues. I think a lot of people really highly anticipating this one. This one features a Canadian artist known as Grimes, who I only became aware about through doing this review because I'm such an old fucker. A lot of people will know her as she is now dating Elon Musk, the robotic cyborg who possibly will lead the future, maybe, I don't know. But she's a completely legitimate artist in her own right, and I actually went back and checked out a load of her stuff, and it's fantastic. I really enjoyed a lot of her material. Grimes, if you haven't checked that out before, go and check her out. Amazing stuff. I think she's got a new album coming out this year as well, so I'm adding that to my list of things to review this year. Musically speaking, this one actually kind of, to me, feels more like it fits in with what Grimes usually does. Electronic instrumentation with a lot of ambient textures, quite understated, but at one point it really morphs into this really sort of dark rave song. I've been climbing up the walls to escape the sinking feeling, but I can't hide from the nihilist at my door. Buried in the basement floor, didn't know what I had planted. It blossomed with all the heart of a cold war. They weren't kidding when they said Nihilist Blues. I'm sure a lot of people who are wanting the heavier side of the band back are going to be very disappointed with this album and this type of song in particular. I personally very much enjoyed this one. I thought it was great. Bullet for My Valentine last year did the woefully shit Gravity album. In that album they were trying to experiment. I appreciate that. I don't mean to be too shitty, but you know, I do appreciate people who try and experiment, but you need to do it properly. And I get the impression that Bring Me the Horizon are doing that. They're really pushing the boundaries on this album, and there's a lot of different sounds. I'm not saying I like everything now. Next up we have In the Dark. I'm guessing this one is pretty much about the divorce, because this is a song about finding out somebody is cheating on you. A very dark song that's done in a particularly poppy way. This is the sort of song that I could easily hear on the radio. It wouldn't sound too out of place with a lot of the sort of contemporary chart music, and there's the odd heavy guitar peppered throughout the song. We got a bit of a sort of funky riff in there as well. Decent enough song, but nothing that really blew me away particularly. Next up we have Wonderful Life, and this one features Dani Filth from Cradle of Filth on vocals. He's also in the video as well. Lyrically speaking, this is about realising you're getting older, and from Ollie's perspective in particular, it's about enjoying the mundane things in life after the chaotic life of being on the road all the time. I did enjoy his lyrics on this one as well. I read a fun fact about the brain and how it starts to deteriorate when we get to 27 or thereabouts. It got me thinking about my head and what I can do to stimulate it. Makes me sad, but I've forgotten what I'm on about. Apparently Ollie and Jordan were working last year on what was going to be helping out for a new Limp Bizkit album. Apparently they were going to be collaborating with Fred Durst. It didn't work out for various reasons, but the riff for this was something that would have been used in that project, and actually makes perfect sense because there's a very Limp Bizkit feel to this one. It's got a real bounce, that real nu metal feel to it, with a hint of djent. But I actually particularly like this one. I thought it was a great song, great chorus, and don't need to justify myself to you. That old transition again. Good. Next up we have Ouch. This is essentially another interlude piece. It's pretty much a straight up dance track really. Apparently some of the lyrics are a throwback to a previous song that probably long-time fans would be aware of. I don't, so again perhaps I shouldn't mention these things. An interlude piece. Next track we have is Medicine, and this is another one that's essentially a straight up chart friendly dancey kind of number. Lyrically speaking, this one is about toxic relationships, realising that you're better off getting away from certain people basically. I think we can all relate to that. Some people are a lot like clouds, you know, because life's so much brighter when they go. And I've spent too long in a place I don't belong. I couldn't see the thunder for the storm. It's just got fucking windy. I enjoyed the chorus on this one a lot. The rest of the song I found a bit too chart friendly for my tastes. However, I did enjoy the sentiment of the song and the lyrics, and certainly something I can relate to. I'm sure all of you guys can as well. Next up we have Sugar, Honey, Ice and Tea. A very tasty riff sees us into this one, and this is one of the heavier songs of the album. The lyric on the chorus goes thusly: sugar, honey, ice and tea, everybody's full of sugar, honey, ice and tea. The first letter of each word actually spells out shit, and I felt particularly clever when I found this out. Upon repeated listenings, however, I realised how fucking obvious it was. I couldn't even reward myself with that. Really enjoyed this song though, good energy, great riffs, great chorus, good. Next up we have Why You Gotta Kick Me When I'm Down. There's a real dark dance vibe on this one, and lyrically speaking, I think this is from Ollie's perspective, this is the relationship he has with some of his fans who always constantly comment on the direction of the band and what he chooses to wear and his relationships and all that. I mean, it's inescapable when you're in the public eye. I myself was once recognised in a store, you know, it's just something that you have to deal with, man. So tell me, why you gotta kick me when I'm down? You better pray I don't get up this time around. And why are you trying to put me in the ground? Don't you know I'm a Sith? I don't stop at the roof. Go ahead, bury me. This is how I go. This is how I thrive. I actually really like the more electronic dance inspired instrumentation. There was a cool use of a child choir in there as well. Jordan's local village kids choir. I don't think that's what they're called, but there was a real darkness to this song. Yeah, good tune. Next up we have Fresh Bruises, and this is another interlude piece that is accompanied by the same words repeated over and over. Don't you try to fuck with me, don't you hide your love. Next up we have Mother Tongue. This one is a straight up love song, and I'll just read out something that Ollie said about this one actually. It's probably the most gushing, just straight up lugs. Why is it whenever I'm reading something it's probably the most gushing, just straight up love song we've ever written. This was one of the easier ones to write because it was positive. It's about when I first met my new wife and she's from Brazil. So don't say you love me, fallow amor. Just let your heart speak up and I'll know. No amount of words could ever find a way to make sense of this. I was looking at the phone. So I want to hear your mother tongue. Not sure that's appropriate. Apparently this is a spiritual successor of a song called Drown, which originally appeared on their 2015 album That's the Spirit, though it was originally a standalone single that was redone for the album. Research. I wasn't overly impressed with this song when I first heard it, but yeah, it has grown on me, I will say that. Not one of my favourites, but yeah. Next up we have Heavy Metal, and this features Rahzel, who is a beatboxer and vocalist, and he's in the incredible group The Roots. This is another one of the heavier songs on the album, and this is another one that's kind of looking at the fans, and in particular the ones who judge them for not being heavy anymore. And I keep picking petals. I'm afraid they don't love me anymore, because some kid on the gram said he used to be a fan, but this shit ain't heavy metal. Rahzel does a very good job of lending his vocals at points and his incredible beatboxing skills. And the end result is a very pleasing one. Yeah, I enjoyed this track a lot. Good tune. And then the final song on the album, I Don't Know What to Say. We get a string section starting this one off before being accompanied by an acoustic guitar, and the song morphs into this huge epic metal orchestral piece that's actually very powerful, very moving, and basically when you learn about the lyrical content, what it's about, it actually makes perfect sense as well. The song was written about a friend of Ollie's called Aidan, who tragically passed away from cancer. I think he was diagnosed with cancer, I think it went away, and then tragically it came back, and sadly he passed. Apparently though, the lyrics for this album were actually written while he was still alive. How a flower in the rain only grows more when it's grey. You just shined on brighter, making gold out of the pain. I can die, but I can't break, you said. You can rule, I won't obey. As long as I'm still smiling. Well, I don't know what to say. I also read somewhere in an interview that the band had written something on the wall of their studio, something that Aidan had said. The world's already full of enough defeated people. I will not be one. Fantastic sentiment and an incredibly powerful way to end this album. Great song, really enjoyed this one a lot. So, in terms of a score, I'm going to be a bit conservative and give this a 7 out of 10. But I want to be clear on a few things. First of all, there is a lot to enjoy on this album. A lot to enjoy. A lot of great songs, some huge hooks, some great choruses. I really enjoyed the lyrics. I thought Ollie's voice was great. I enjoyed a lot of the experimental stuff they've done, the electronic dance vibe to a lot of the songs. I think it works really well. There were, however, a few songs that kind of I found a bit meh. Having said that, I strongly suspect that with more listens, this could be one of those ones that really grows on me quite a lot, or become quite forgettable. Could go either way, and I'm very curious to see how I judge this album at the end of the year when it comes to doing my top album lists. So, what have I got coming up next? Well, I'm aware I've been away for a little while. There are reasons for that. I might update that on my PMA channel, who knows. There are a whole bunch of albums to check out this week. I don't know how much I'm going to get a chance to do them. We've got the new King 810, listen to some of that. We've got new Swallow the Sun, listen to some of that. Got the new Feral Roots, I've listened to some of that. God, what else was there? There was loads I missed last week as well. Juliana Hatfield, A Pale Horse Named Death. There was the Turgid Arch Enemy album. No, I'm not an Arch Enemy fan. Oh yeah, Weezer just dropped a new album as well, the Teal album. An album of covers, which I actually quite enjoyed. But we've still got the Black album, which will be coming out in March. There's so much music, it's always the way. Whenever you fall behind, you're just never going to catch up. Well, I've done this video, it's another one, so you know.